Yo! What is good, everybody? Happy Monday to all of you out there. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Maybe got up to some fun. What are we going to do today? We are going to do a quick plugin review. We're going to take a look at a tool called Braaam Vocal Edit. It is from Excite Audio. We have looked at several of their plugins now. In fact, the first plugin that we reviewed of theirs was probably a year ago or so, maybe more. Definitely more now at this point. And it was their first one. It was the Vocal Ether plugin. And it was very cool. It was our first foray into their world. Our biggest complaint at the time was we can't put our own samples in there. So we can only do so much with this. And we thought for sure they were going to be selling us a bunch of expansion packs or something. But no, quite the opposite. They're not selling us expansion packs. They've actually been updating all of their plugins and adding these really neat things. And one of which is the ability to use your own sounds. So we are going to crack into Braaam Vocal Edit, which is their big vocal plugin. It is also on sale right now for the Black Holiday, or for the Black Friday holiday spree, whatever we're calling it these days. So there's a link to that in the Discord, as well as some other kind of choice picks for today. If you're out doing holiday plugin shopping, there's a bunch of really good stuff. PSP Audioware, just going to say this out loud, celebrating 25 years right now, this week, 90% off their entire collection. PSP. Unbelievable. There's a link in the Discord. Also, in the unbelievable category, AudioThing. I don't know how many of you saw the post from Javar this morning with Heinbach's new instrument in collaboration with AudioThing. He's done a few now. Such a wonderful partnership. Their stuff is on sale right now as well for the holiday season, and you can pick up plugins and instruments from them for as little as $5 right now. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. So if you're looking for weird, you got weird. If you're looking for like some of the best hardware emulation you're going to find, you got that. Tokyo Dawn Labs is doing just nutty sales. FabFilter, 24% off everything. That's the best you're going to get from them. And I've worked with them on and off over the years, and they're fantastic, and they really don't discount very much. So I wouldn't go expecting more than that. All right, I think that's it on the rundown for the Black Friday stuff. I do want to jump into this plugin. I haven't really played with it. I try to save all of my honest reactions for you guys. Although, I will say, just to be fully transparent with you guys, I put in the serial and then I pushed a couple of buttons to make sure everything was okay. And oh man, is it fun. I lost 5 minutes very, very quickly, and then I realized what was happening and I stopped. So, but I'm saving the rest of my reactions for you guys today. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like playing a game. It really is. All right, so let's jump into that. And then after that, we are going to continue on with the creation of Braams, the big cinematic sound effects that we hear in big movies like Inception and other Hans Zimmer type action films, thriller films, that type of thing. Here, we'll pull up some. These are from last week on Wednesday. I think that's the day that we worked on these on stream. These are big sounds. You know, Braams. So we'll make a bunch of these. And they'll be great. And I have no idea yet what tools we're going to use. Or if any of the sounds are going to be great. But if these are any indication of what's coming, I think we'll be all right. So we'll make a bunch of these Braams, and that'll probably be the bulk of the stream. So I say we jump into this plugin review and do that first, because it's really fun. All right. I'm gonna turn off this background noise here. And let's see. We've got Bloom Vocal Edit here. And if you have not seen one of their plugins yet, we'll run through kind of the basic overview of, navigation and function of this thing. Once you learn one of the plugins, you, for the most part, understand how to use all of their plugins. They're kind of built on the same model by and large. So you click this little button here and you get your sample banks. There are 8 banks in total. You've got 14 across in each one. So they add up quickly. And then what you do with those, and this is just utterly fantastic. You've got a quick little sample bay or edit bay for each one of the samples, 1 through 14. You can drop your own files in here. You can also browse for your files through a little finder here. And then there's this phrase player, this phrase builder. So on the surface, you can serve up some one-shots. Where are we here? My volume is down. Sorry about that. Okay, so we can serve up some one-shots. Okay, and we can also play sequences. And we can also then augment, right? We can modify the playback of those. So it's very much like arcade in that you hold down a sequence button, and then you can half time that, or double time it, or you could reverse it, or shift down in pitch, or you could go up in pitch, right? Now you can mess with your sequence here in the phrase player, and it's got the large majority of things that you would expect in regards to sequencing, but then you can also mess with things by the step. Sample, pitch, volume, filter, high cut and low cut, delay, bit crush, and reverb. So you can be affecting various parameters through the sequencing, the modulation that you're setting up here in the phrase player, which is pretty cool. And again, kind of all of the typical kind of onboard parameters and buttons and knobs to play with that you would expect. There are a few that are kind of outliers in the greater field of play out there, so we can kind of put a spotlight on some of those features. But by and large, you've got a small selection of effects down here. They are draggable, so you can change the sequence in which the signal flow is happening. There's also these macros. Now, these global macros, which are glue, which is compression, fuzz, which is like pedal distortion, metallic, which is like a reverb delay kind of effect, and then a doubler, which is like a stereo widening, not quite a chorus, but more traditional vocal doubler. And then those run consistently across all patches. So you understand what your main macro effects are up front, and then you can just kind of start playing around with the different types of vibes that you want to build with the different samples that they have, and there's a ton of them. And then, like I said, you can also bring in your own sounds. So why don't we load up a beat, and then we'll start playing some of these chops over the top of it and see what we actually think. All right, so we'll load up, let's put EXO on here. Oops, and we'll just create a big old loop. And we will sync to our host. And let's just find a quick little beat. Maybe just something kind of random. Ooh, this one might be fun, actually. Let's try it. This is really fast BPM. Does it have Skrillex mode? Let's find out, Velvet. How you doing, homie? I'm gonna change this beat because that little sound is driving me kind of nuts. Actually, this one might be kind of fun. It's kind of clunky, huh? Nah, it's too much. Let's get a straightforward beat in here. Not be too clever. Be a simple beat. Old boop bap. Okay. I'm good, Velvet. How are you doing? How are you doing? That's fun. Hey, Andy, how's it going? We are checking out a plugin. Ooh. Okay, so it does a lot of cool sequencing type stuff. I want to play around with the randomization just a little bit to see if it's satisfying or not. And then I want to start putting some of our own samples in there. Of course, we can put some vocal samples in there, but it would also be kind of cool just to put some other types of samples in there, right? Just to kind of see what kind of flexibility this thing has for us. Because I have a feeling it'd be really cool with a bunch of different types of sounds. So let's do that. Let's play with this random just a little bit. There's a couple of ways in which we can play with the random, but the main way is just there's this random icon down here at the bottom of the interface. Okay, I'm going to put a beat in here, and we're going to listen to that. So this was a randomized kit here. So randomize sample selection and sequence. Let's do that again. Okay, so there's some logic to the randomness. It's not just straight random. There are actual, like, kind of, not necessarily predefined grooves, I bet, but they probably have, I think they probably have some kind of guardrails in place in regards to what types of sequences actually fail and what ones are good. So, not that it's smart, mind you, but in our limited selection there, it did kind of feel like we were following some kind of classic grooves here. Here, let's do this. This is the, which one is this? Okay, this is phrase A. Let's randomize this one up here. Ooh. Yeah, see, that kind of feels relevant already. So I think there's some sort of logic lurking behind here. Okay, so that would make groove making quite a bit of fun. I could imagine there being quite a bit of, discovery and happy accidents and whatnot that would come out of this for sure. Okay, so what if we take and we drop in something completely different, right? Today's, and then we'll get to some vocal stuff, but or not today. This month's free sound pack for everyone that's a Twitch subscriber is the gold pack, right? The sequenced Foley loops. So let's grab something from there and drop it in here and see what it ends up sounding like. Let's try it. Okay, just grab something at random here maybe. Okay, so this is a typewriter and a couple of other objects, but we're going to take this and we'll just drop it right in here. Sure, we'll just say yes to that. Okay, so now we're going to look at we want to use. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. We'll take, we'll just swap out a few here. I'm not even going to listen to these. We're just going to drop them randomly. Each one of these is going to be a sequenced Foley loop, though. So instead of having, oh no, it just crashed. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try that again. I see why it crashed. I should report that bug to them. I changed the kit before saving. The dialogue, it was asking me if I wanted to save or not, and I switched kits before answering that question. So it crashed logic. I'll have to report that one to them. But while we're waiting for that, let's see what the chat is talking about right now. Here, I'll fire up some background music for us while we wait. It's going to take just a second for that all to happen. But that's all right. While you're waiting, if you are subbed to the Twitch stream, go grab that sound pack, that gold sound pack. It's really fun. You're going to get the most mileage out of it when you start resampling things, and like for instance, opening up these loops in a granular sampler is a really, really good choice. Really good choice. Yeah. If you're a fan of playing with modular devices, these sounds tend to hold up quite well in all sorts of sample manipulation playback sequences. Yeah, Asmodon saying, it sounds like something you'd get if you dropped a vocal sample in a sampler and used slice mode. Yeah, absolutely. That is the premise of the tool. It is made for vocal chops. That's kind of like its intention. I of course want to push against that and put other types of sounds in there as well. But I really do like the kind of playful responsiveness of this plugin so far. It's like, okay, are you going to use me right this time or what? Let's see. Let's see about that. All right, let's maybe we should do this the right way. We should go into the initialized. Okay, so now that we are initialized, oh, except for then we have to do all of our programming for our presets, huh? Which might take us a minute. Here, why don't we do this? Why don't we split the difference? Why don't we do, let's do a rhythmic. And we'll get, maybe we'll do this bits and bytes here and see what this sounds like. Okay, so we're going to take this one, and we're just going to go in and let's look at the sample here. Oh, do I need to do this through... Let's see. Sample or whole bank. Okay, great. So let's do that. Let's drag and drop a bank and see what happens, shall we? We'll just take this whole loops folder. What's it going to do if we do that? Or a whole bank. What will it do? I don't think it's going to do it. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to grab individual files. So here's 8. Let's just drop these 8 here. Let's see. I think we actually have to load these. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we're going to go in here. And I'm just going to drop a few in here. And again, I'm not going to listen to each one of these. I just want a bunch, or maybe, you know what, we'll do every other. So we'd have a little bit of vocal and a little bit of Foley together. So we'll put these on the odds. 3, 5. And we're going to play around with this presets sequencing that is already programmed in here. See, this thing actually functions like a champ when you're not like ignoring the dialogue windows and stuff. Okay, a couple more samples to go. That was 11. Here's the last one. Okay, so we've got some random samples thrown in here. These are loops that we've put in, and now we've kept half the original vocal chops and half of these are Foley sounds. So, ooh, I like it. Happy accidents galore. V, W, and B, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. We are combining vocal and Foley. So these would be kind of like vocal toppers. Okay, let's get a beat behind this thing, shall we? Let's not do this kind of like boom bap thing, though. Let's do some sort of... That's pretty up. Let's play with that for just a sec. Yeah, I just want to play with the sequence randomizer here for a moment. This one. Okay, that's a pretty ridiculous payoff that you get. You spend like, what, like a minute putting some samples in here. It cuts down the amount of time that it takes to normally do this by quite a bit. They have really streamlined a lot of different functions here. Okay, imagine putting in like 1/3 blips and bloops from a modular rig, right? Just stabs and plucks, right? And then 1/3 Foley and 1/3 vocals. Oh my. Oh, that'd be so playful. Yeah, it would make great burial type soundscapes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having all sorts of ideas because of this tool. Yeah, we really haven't even been playing with the macros or anything, just kind of bouncing around this idea of you can actually put your own sounds into this. It kind of makes me want to bring in something kind of maybe melodic. Here, let's just go into one of the even numbered, and we're just going to put a sample in there. Let's put a modular loop in there. I'm not sure which one this is. I'm just grabbing it at random. Oh, it didn't like that, did it? What happened there? Let's try that again. What's happening? Is there a... That was a flash, like there was a dialogue window or something, but I'm not seeing one. Where is it? Huh. Maybe it just didn't like it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it didn't take that one. Huh. Okay, so it's a little bit of bugginess, but I do like that they've already updated this a couple of times, that they've added the ability to bring in your own sounds. Yeah. Seems to be a big CPU draw with certain things. But I like how active they are as developers, so I would say dollars to donuts that they're probably going to keep updating this thing and making it better and better and better. That's my guess. But I like it. I like it. I like Bloom Vocal Edit. I do. Devious Furball says, I have a lot of Excites gear. Nice little idea toys. And they all work the same, so if you learn one, you learn them all. Yeah, I do like that. I do like that. The unified UI experience throughout. I really do appreciate that. I think it helps people adapt and adopt quickly. All right, so we are going to make a bunch of big, some big old Brahms. We listened to a couple of these from last Wednesday. Listened to like, what, 7 of these? Let's listen to a couple more. Get into the mood. Wow, yeah, because these are like huge sounds, right? I mean, we got to be ready for these. Nutty. Clear out your ear holes and your foghorns. Yeah, they make you feel things, right? Okay, so I'm at like the halfway point of this collection at this point. This is a second volume of an ongoing series for just the Braams, but they are part of a larger ongoing series called Cinematic Essentials, which you can find over on the ghosthack website. So since I've reached about the halfway point in this collection, I feel like I really want to start getting much more experimental, right? So we'll probably be hunting and pecking for really cool sounds and textures that we can exploit in really extreme ways through distortion, mostly. So very like character changing, very transformative stuff. So that's what's in store. Yo, Zeep, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, homie. That's what we will be doing. One more. Ooh, that was dark and hard. That flanger sounded like a scream. That was almost like a gong, almost, right? Gotta love FM. Ooh, Zeeb says, I'm doing great. Short week at working. Going to a big ass rave in Long Beach this weekend. Hope you're doing well too. Nice. Good to hear, dude. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Excuse me. And then the giant alien robot farts right next to you, and you're like, dang. That was a good one. It was kind of purring, sort of. Y'all awake yet? That is dirty, right, Zeep? That one is like, the aliens are already here and they just wiped out all of your devices or something. Man. That one almost felt kind of weak. Oof. All right, so yeah, I don't know exactly what kind of instruments we're going to do this to now, but we're going to abuse even more sounds now. So let's go do that. Yeah. All right, we should pull up probably like a Kontakt or something. I will go ahead and save this project. And we'll go ahead and put it in here. Call this day 3. Because there was one other day that we made some stuff, but we were not very productive on that stream. I think we made like 6 sounds or something. It was at the end of looking at some plugins or something. All right, so get in here. We will just do like a couple bar take. Bring this down to, I don't know, maybe like 120-ish or so. Just for modulation's sake. And let's pull up. Let's pull up Kontakt first. Native Instruments and Isotope, you know, they are one company now, basically. They are doing a big 50% off sale, which is for upgrades as well. So if you currently have one of their collections, like Complete or something, now is definitely the time to do an upgrade if you're thinking about it. I always do the 50% off upgrades. I usually do the summer one when they have them. They don't always have them. Okay, so we are doing these big tonal sustained sounds. And I want some of them to not be quite as angry. They still need to have a serious impact to them, and they still need to have a very striking quality, but they don't necessarily need to have a brash voice, and they also don't need to have a full spectrum voice. They can be very filtered down and low velocity and still have a great amount of stirring effect to them. So with that in mind, I just kind of want to start to pick some stuff almost at random. I think some percussive stuff will be needed. So we'll probably pull some big hits out of Damage, right? Some junkyard recordings, so we can get some really strong transient stuff. Might pull in some choir. type stuff for just some upper register kind of harmonic information layered inside of something. But I do want to try some woodwind, and I would like to try playing some typically short form kind of percussive tonal stuff, like a piano or something like that, but then stretch it in cool ways. And maybe some strings, because string dives are so affecting, right? They really hit us in a certain way. All right, so let's start with some junkyard. And then we're going to move into more tonal stuff. Like, that's really solid right there. I mean, it's a little overused, but we can... let's see here. It's pretty dialed down already. Okay, so in our normal fashion, what we're going to do is we're going to send this software instrument out to this sampler. We're going to send it out to its own audio track. So we're just going to set the output of this device as a bus. Roku Sai says, okay, you goofballs, just wanted to mention that the Kirchhoff Dynamic EQ is now $60 instead of $300 for those that need a well-rounded, good sounding, and very versatile tool in their arsenal, and they don't want the standard FabFilter sound, but the same sensibilities. Be smart. Listen to Roku. Yeah, I would absolutely endorse that. 100%. 100%. Is that one by chance available over on PluginBoutique right now, Roku? I'm not sure. If it is, not only will they, manage updates and keep your serial handy for you, but you can get a free plugin, and they've got a pretty interesting one called Mixbox right now from IK Multimedia. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, so that gives you, it's like 70 different, I wouldn't really call it like a pedal bay. It's more of like an effects rack, and they've just got all of their DSP running in there. So for what it's worth, I have no idea what the sale is there versus like directly, right? But there you have it. More ways in which you can save. So we are setting the output of this guy to a bus, and then we are going to set up an audio channel, and the input on that audio channel will be that bus. So now as we play, we will actually be recording audio to another channel in our project. And this is exactly what we want. Okay, now I don't have anything running on this project. Like, there's no plugins running for processing here. But I don't think I'm going to peak, so hopefully I don't hurt anyone's ears here. We're just going to hit record and start. And I'm just going to capture a whole bunch of individual impact sounds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use those, some of them wholly and intact, and some of them will trim down in ways to where we're really only taking the bulk of their transient information. But we're going to use these as kind of underpinnings for some of our Braams that we're going to be making today. Turn off that countdown there. You'll notice that I'll be varying velocity. Okay, and then we're also going to grab just some more orchestral hits too. So just a couple more of these. Ooh, it's got trailer impact written all over it, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we've captured some one-shots there, and now let's do the same but with some more traditional percussion, not big and distorted. So we will kick this one to the curb. And let's grab... Roku saying, wow, I haven't seen Damage in a while. Forgot I had it in my library, right? It's so good. It's so good. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for... I went past it. Let's try it again. Oh, there it is. Action strikes. I'm going to go just for individual hits here. And maybe we'll move away from the big cinematic hits for right now, and we'll go into maybe some taikos. We'll grab some toms right after that. Maybe these two. It's really quick. Okay, and then let's grab maybe some toms. Okay, I want to grab about 5 or so from here, so we're going to do that really quick. Okay, got a couple takes of one in there. All right, let's get some little things. Saffron, how you doing, homie? Are you back in the U.S.? How was your trip? That's pretty good. I'm gonna take that. Okay, great. So now that we've got some little and big percussive sounds in here, uh, let's move on to some tonal stuff. And again, we are just capturing stuff that we're going to be layering with. So I am actually going to take and put a new audio channel down here, and we'll make sure that's no input. And this channel here will just keep track of our percussive hits. And we will go through and start recording again on a new channel, our tonal stuff. Okay, so part of this I want to be organic, and part of it I want to be synthetic, because it really, like, these things really hit the best when they are truly hybrid. So I just want to capture just individual notes of a few different types of instruments. And then kind of take it from there and see what kind of weirdness we can get. When we hear things that are not quite what we expect, it's usually when we're most impressed by them, right? They kind of catch us in a certain way. Maybe some gamelan. That'd be nice, right? Let's try that. Yes, let's do the kettle gongs. There we go. Where am I here? There we go. Okay, I think it might be this guy, and I want to bring down the pitch here. Ooh, that's pretty nice. It's kind of pitched down. Gamelan gong. Okay, let's do this then. It's quite the lovely tail on that thing. It's very quiet right now. We'll make that big. Okay. Next, let's put on... Should I have a little background music for you guys? All right, so next we're going to get out of that kettle gong here. Ooh, that's probably too much modulation in there, huh? Is it? It might be. Let's try dropping this tone a bit. Maybe. I'm going to grab it at both. I'm going to do this drop pitch. I'm going to grab its original pitch too. Saffron, that sounds like a really awesome trip. Wow, this is the longest tail. Okay, and we're going to go up to original pitch here and capture that as well. Oh, what happened there? Try that again. Okay, and now let's grab maybe some piano hits. I think piano would be good. We're going to stretch out some piano notes, which we did have a couple of piano hits last week that we turned into something. Maybe just a grand. Okay, we are loaded. I'm going to grab a couple of notes from this. Okay, and we will stretch those guys out a little bit until their body is just kind of abnormally long. Maybe layer those with some horn. Okay, so we got a couple of piano notes. Kind of going back and forth on some guitar in my head right now. We did some horns on Wednesday, but we basically stuck to just the tuba and the trombone for the most part. So what can we do with this trumpet, perhaps? I'm just going to beef this just a little bit here. Ah, there we go. Yeah, little extra throat in there. And if we drop that a bit, get out of its normal range here. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to get a few. We're going to get a few. We're going to go up high and down low. That one's ugly. Now, of course, when you're making really, really, really good Brahms, uh, you can layer these sounds, right? And make them into one unified sound, and then bring that into a sampler and find its right spots. Kind of a playable instrument at that point. But it's a really good way to get more, for sure. Okay, so that was a C. I think we'll probably just do that, and we'll probably just bring that into a sampler. So that way we can play with pitch bends and handle release and all that kind of stuff. So let's get rid of these trumpets. I don't think a flugelhorn is going to be bright enough on its own. Oh. That's an ugly sound right there. Oof. That just takes a lot of effort to move that sound around. My goodness. Ooh. Nice. Saf saying when he was in China, he just got back from this huge, huge trip. He brought back a bunch of Chinese indie music too. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Well. Oh, I missed this one, Rokusai. Roku saying, I'm kind of fed up with those standard trailer music orchestral hits. Everything is loud, bad taste of melodies, and often those composers completely miss the mark of what the movie is. Rant over. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's like someone hears a ping and they need now like 6 pings in their trailer. And they're like, oh, it's got such a great effect. I'm going to use it so many times. It's going to have a great effect every single time I'm using it. And then there's the trailers that have like 12 different types of cinematic hits in the 30 seconds of that one trailer. Instead of like trying to unify the whole thing, they're just like all over the place. Oh man. And then there's the ones that have the constant sub bass running throughout. Yeah, there's just some some questionable decisions being made all about. Yeah, I understand why you want to rant a little bit, Rokusai. So, yeah, Rant well received, sir. All right, so we're going to move these tonal sounds down to their own track. So we've just made some quick recordings of some percussive kind of transient sounds. We've made some recordings of some organic tonal sounds. We're, of course, going to record more tonal sounds, I think. I'm not sure about the flugelhorn right now. Now we're going to make some synths. Let's make some synths. Rokusai saying, Omlab, meanwhile, put on the DVD of the original Alien from '79 to watch an intro that lasts 21 minutes. Yeah, right? Yes, yes. Man, that was such an incredible film on so many fronts. I mean, seriously. Between that and what Kubrick was doing with like Space Odyssey, like, come on. Such a high standard being set. Drummer Boy saying, what song can we really cover? Wait, what song can we cover really slow with piano and loud ass orchestral hits for every blah word? Blah for blah, impact blah. I know, right? And the movie is actually about, like independent schools and a failing school system or something like that, right? But the trailer is like, never before has there been an epic like this. Come on. Juice box have never been this juicy. Actually, that would be a really funny ad campaign for like a Juicy Juice juice box commercial or something. Don't forget the quippy line. In a world. Oh, Rokusai saying, hey, Omlab, have you seen Peanut Butter Falcon? That is such a good family movie. That is actually a pretty good one. Man. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, boy. Hey, really quick, before we get back into sounds. So I've got a kid, and I watched Wonka, the newest iteration of the Willy Wonka franchise that just came out a couple of years ago, and it's great. It is so much better than the Tim Burton one that he did with Johnny Depp. That felt like it just kind of missed the mark. I grew up with the Gene Wilder one. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan. I'll just put this out there. I'm not a huge fan of old school traditional musicals. Like, watch them once, it's fine, but I'm not someone who goes out of his way to like watch it every year or like continually celebrate and sing along to musicals, right? I'm not a big repetitive guy like that. This soundtrack, like the lyrical composition, all of the stuff is so classic in this movie. They really embraced like this old era, and it's fantastic. And they made such great music. Anyway, my kid right now is over the moon, just absolutely over the moon with memorizing every single word of all of these songs. It's so much fun to watch. But if you guys haven't watched the newest Wonka, man, and you want just like a little twinkle in your step the next day, something kind of wholesome to watch, that's a good one. That's a good one. Rule number 1, party. Yeah, right. Yeah. Rule number 1, party. Yeah, I mean, it was the people that made the Paddington movies and Harry Potter. It was good. It was much better than expected, and it was better than the last one. So, restored a little faith. All right, so we need to make some synths, but I don't want to make just regular synths, right? Like, I want to make some... So, let's make some... Shall we? So we're going to get rid of kontakt here. And we might as well save this really quick before we make our... let's go with some serum. Yes, those ones. They are good. Oh. Rokusai says image line harmer for additive goodness. You know what? I don't have harmer, so no. But yes, otherwise, yes. Although I do have, I mean, we can instrument hop here. Like we've got Razor, we've got FM8, we've got Alchemy, we've got, I mean, what? Absinthe. Alchemy, man, there's the one for the additive stuff. Man, you can get up to some stuff in that thing. All you need is a sine wave and patience. That's true. That's true. That's the brilliant, beautiful thing about additive synthesis, you know? And on that note, let's get... Let's take another one of these. We'll take this down, but we'll put it up to... And then we'll... Yeah. Yeah, blah. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, so I want to play with curve and kind of disclosure over time, and maybe just, I know this is a very simple sound, just a saw wave with a saw wave running into it, but when layering a whole bunch of sounds, sometimes it's best just to keep things really, really simple. So I just want to play with a couple of really simple themes here, and that is bending the sound at different rates of disclosure and change over time. So let's do that then. All right, let's hold that up there for a little bit before bring it back down. And we're probably going to be running about a 2-bar on these. I just don't have the patience to program that at 2 bars. I like program it in and then switch it to 2 bars so I don't have to wait. All right, so we'll bring this over just a little, and we'll give this just a little bit of a bump. We'll get rid of any kind of clicking stuff in there. We're going to play with our rate of change here just a little bit more. All right, now let's play with the voicing just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do just a few different rates and a few different amounts, a few different keys. Just trying to decide how much I want to do inside of here and how much I want to do inside of a sampler really quick. I might do more in here and just make a couple of patches while we're doing this. Might as well kill two birds with one stone. Gosh, lasers. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd rather build them in here and make a few Braaam patches, and then we'll just include those patches in the upcoming library for over there. We'll just do that. And then that way people will have a little bit of continuity running through these products too. Hey, Zendremic. How you doing, homie? Rokusai says, one can never have enough lasers. Yeah, true that. Okay, let's take and with a wavetable again, but let's go into, let's just go into a basic sine wave, and for this, bring this down. Okay, so second version. Right, we're just going to run through these. We'll set up some macros so we have control over these things. But we're going to do a little amplitude modulation on oscillator A from C. It's running a sine wave, just a basic sine wave, 1 octave down from A. Okay, but we need to actually set this up as an envelope, and we'll just bring this up. It's fine if it just sustains there, but let's set this up to be a little quicker, twice the speed of the other one. Lasers, Rokusai says. Lasers! Okay, so again, just another iteration of that theme. Now let's go into comb first. But we need a bunch of resonance and stuff to do this, so hang tight. And bring that down. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, so if we play with the mix on this, we can get a nice little sci-fi sound out of this. I'm a little afraid of the volume on this one. But we can do something kind of funky in that. Okay, so we've got some comb stuff, got a little FM, got a little AM, got a little AM and FM. We could run it through a separate filter, and on this guy, we can do maybe a ring mod. Let's turn off this one for just a sec. We could maybe do some sort of kind of digital interference kind of one, maybe, right? And we get some noise in there, and maybe like a little ring mod twist up or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Baking that in as... I think I'd rather spend the macro on something else other than ring mod, to be perfectly honest. Maybe just some extreme distortion then. So I'll turn off this filter. Let's go to our effects rack and we'll see what our next idea is for this. Maybe bowed. Here we've got some pitch bending goodness here. Lovely. Ah! Oof, man. Jeez. Oof. Oof. Oh, wait, no, not a second one. Not a second one, please. Distortion, please. Ugh. Redonkulous. Ugh, gosh. Jeez. Rokusai says, HomeLab, now we need to slam it through a tube impulse response from trash. Yes. Yeah, right? Andy says Andy Music says the overdrive distortion can give some very fun flat dynamics at times 16 as well. Let's do both those things, shall we? Oof, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. Andy, that's a lovely thing there. Yeah, that's lovely. Just toggling the bypass on this one, this is so satisfying here. Yeah, you get that little amp plug. Oh, I love overdrive. It's so good. Let's just plug that, shall we? No. That's a nasty sound. All right, I'm going to bypass that distortion for a second. Rokusai, you know what I still need to do? I still need to update the UI on Trash. Still. It's been a minute. This is like a dentist troll monster in a Souls-like game. Oh, man. Ooh, what did you rewatch, Velvet? Ooh, Alien. Yeah, Alien, The Shining, and The Thing. Yeah. Oh, man, The Thing. Yeah. Yeah, right? Alien. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what are we thinking in here? What are we thinking? Oof. There's ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculousness in here. I mean, listen to all these different tones. Come on. Seriously, we were just talking about this the other day. I was mentioning that the first set of 6 Braams for this kit, or for this, for this new installation, or new volume. These right here are all trash here. Roku and I were talking about just the value of the convolution engine that in like alone inside of Trash. Here's how good Trash is. Trash's UI was updated a couple of years ago, and every time I think of Trash, I think, oh, I should update that. But then as soon as I start touching Trash, I'm like, I'm in it. I'm just like, I don't need it to change. I just need what I want. Oh, Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Classic. Classic. Big Trouble in Little China. Man. Ripboy saying Alien was one of those films where it doesn't really show the bad guy and lets your imagination do the work. That started with Jaws when the mechanical shark kept breaking down, so they had no shark footage in the ending room. Yeah, in the editing room. Yeah, it's so much more powerful to let your imagination conjure the darkness, right? Truly. Oof. Oof. Where's my fingers gone? What? Gotta respect the gazelle. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, KDHD. Hope you're doing well over there. We were just talking about the impulse responses in the convolution engine inside of Trash and about how absolutely incredible they really are. I mean, right? I mean, come on. Yeah, exactly. Rokusai says, "I love the UI to be honest. They made it a linear chain, made it easier to understand. Wait, the fact that they made it a linear chain made it easier to understand. I guess at the time, every other company wanted to look like FabFilter. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. That feels right." Andy Music, were you here a couple weeks back when we were making all those jump scares for the Halloween pack? And did you guys grab all the jump scares in the free Halloween pack a couple weeks ago? Saf. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is one of those movies where people slowly kind of get picked off one by one. But to be fair, it was one of the predecessors in like a long lineage of that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Trash 2 is insane. Yeah. Yeah, KDHD, that's exactly what we were just talking about. They updated the UI a couple of years ago, and I still haven't gone and updated for whatever reason. I think it's just because I get in here and I start cooking, and I'm like, that's exactly what I need. I'm going to bounce this, and I'm out. And to be perfectly frank, updating things with Isotope over the past couple of years as they've been transitioning since being purchased by the investment company and like merging with native instruments was complete trash on a lot of levels. I still have some plugins that are stranded because they haven't like fully integrated. It's yeah. But anyway, I freaking love what they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andy. Those sounds are very shocking. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, Omicide dropped a new distortion. Looks like a beast. Nice. Nice. Silver Stag, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Silver Stag asking, random question, but any suggestions for music making that would go under something cyberpunk? What do you mean for music making? You mean like plugins? Like what kind of stuff would I recommend for cyberpunk? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, Roku saying same. Some rappers from NI are still broken. Yeah, yeah. Andy is saying, hey, if you're making cyberpunk, it's distortion. It's FM plus tube distortion and serum or vital. Yeah, yeah. Rokusai saying, or some older NI instruments from third parties were not ported over to newer Kontakt versions, so they don't show up in Kontakt, only in older Kontakt, but you can't get the older Kontakt installer anymore. You know what's really frustrating about this? And I'm going to stop myself a few seconds into this rant, okay? Because I'm under NDA and I can't share what is coming next. But you guys know that I always have my fingers in the next awesome thing. And I can't talk about it at all. So it's going to stay locked down. But I will say that one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of the older stuff working in Kontakt is because it costs $1,000. It costs $1,000. Like if I make a library, I'm just going to say all this out loud. If I make a library and I want it to be backwards compatible to other instances of Kontakt, I need to pay Native Instruments $1,000 for that. So if I have, say, 20 instruments and I want to maintain backwards compatibility, you got it. $20,000 investment, right? Yeah. But they did make a change. They did make a change. I want to be perfectly fair about all of this because I do love Native and I've worked with them for a lot of years. A lot of years. And I do love and adore them. just some choices have been made recently. But anyway, one of the things that they've done to kind of help fix that relationship is when we are now currently on Kontakt 8. When Kontakt 7 started shipping, they waived the $1,000 encoding fee for those who just wanted to develop for the current platform. You got it. They're encouraging people to move on from the older platforms, right? And there's a bunch of different reasons for this, a bunch of different reasons for it. But this is what they've done. So if you're a developer and you're making instruments, Kontakt 7, do you really need to pay the extra $1,000 to encode to older versions, or are people going to catch up with you eventually? Well, a lot of these development companies, they're individual people or a couple of people, and they're trying to, get their stuff out there. And it's really, really hard. And it's hard to maintain compatibility and all sorts of stuff. So a lot of them make the decision to, I'm just going to make it for the current version of Kontakt then. And then they don't have to pay that extra $1,000. So there's like a lot of layers behind the scenes as to why things are the way that they are. But there are things that have come to affect change in the scene. And if you go way, way back, you go back like 15 years or so, there was this absolutely fantastic company. I still love and adore them. I use their stuff all the time. They're called Tonehammer. And long story short, the two brilliant minds behind Tonehammer eventually became ADO and Sound Iron. Two guys that came together for a short period of time and made absolute brilliant magic. They probably never should have been partnered with anyone because they are so brilliant, but I'm so glad that they did. Anyway, long story short, their efforts have continued to kind of push against the big norms on this side of the industry with sampled instruments and stuff. Making it easier to have more drag and droppable kind of instrument creation and more synth-like control over your sampler, stuff like that. Just kind of modernizing the entire thing from, for expectations on both sides, for developers and for musicians or producers. But just know that it's going to continue in that direction, and it's not always going to be super complex, and that it's not always going to be super frustrating to get a new version of something and then have other stuff just no longer work. Because that kind of stuff is trash. Like that wrecks relationships and projects, and it sucks. So Velvet Goatcheese saying, sounds like NI is going through the Unity Unreal Engine licensing roller coaster. Sort of. I mean, they are, it's tough. It's tough all around, right? Too many people stole things for too long for all of these companies not to have some kind of response, right? They are a business and they have to stay in business. And whether people want to admit it to themselves or not, it costs a lot of money to make stuff, right? Of course, you can profit and make incredible amounts of money off of those things that you build, but it still takes a huge team of people and a huge mountain of money to make a whole bunch of really great tools like that, and then to maintain them over time. It really does. Yeah, it's just like there's a reckoning coming with a lot of stuff, and part of it is just going to be, in the future, people don't want hassle. They just don't want hassle. So we're going to see a lot less hassle soon with sampled instruments and stuff. And it's going to be really nice. It's going to be really refreshing. And it'll kind of push against a lot of the other benefits that you're seeing on the other side of the spectrum coming from AI. Like, hey, we'll just conjure your sounds out of midair. But I think there's more to music than that, and a lot more to good quality stuff than that. So I think that the new era of samplers that are coming are going to, in a lot of ways, probably just dominate all of those newer AI tools coming out. Silver Stag says, no, I mean more like techniques, maybe plugins too. What kind of sounds or synths to aim for, etc. Well, okay, so it kind of depends on what part of the spectrum of the cyberpunk stuff you're going for, but you want good distortion, you want good filters, you want a good synth that can give you a nice digital edge, right? Serum or Vital are really good options. Any synth is going to do it. But those two synths have a lot of modulation capability, and they also have some pretty futuristic sound processing capability as well, right? Built-in Um, well, I guess basically all of the effects that you would expect to hear in Cyberpunk are already kind of built in. And then, of course, you're also talking about these tools having the ability to use FM synthesis and wavetable synthesis, which is also pretty important because you want your things to have really animated and character-rich kind of sounds. They're all kind of simple at their core, but they sound so far removed from the ordinary, everyday version of that sound that it's very, very easy to accept it as like this dystopian, futuristic kind of sound, you know? Yeah. Drummer Boy says, I love, love, love Sound Paint. I can't wait till they add some more features to the user patch maker stuff. Yes. 100% Drummer Boy. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's going to be, yeah, I cannot, I will not speak to it, but there will be something early in 2026 that is going to meet people where they are, kind of in a similar way, a little less complex, but very similar in a lot of ways, like kind of related. Yeah, things need to get simple, right? And powerful, really fast. Rokusai says, OMLab, to me, Kontakt could have helped users simply by keeping the old installer on their website, and they still could have pushed the library makers to go with the newer engine. Yeah. The only thing there, though, with the old installers, is the compatibility for the players to actually function on your operating system and stuff. Yeah. Andy says, fastest workflow is with Serum and Vital and OTT. Yep, 100%. Saf says, AI is a tool that helps you in the background. You still have to edit all the sounds yourself. Secretly, I use ChatGPT to suggest settings with Arturia FX bundle. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Everybody uses it in their own way, I guess, if they're going to use it, right? Where were we? We were making some sounds, right? And we were playing with some stacked overdrive on this sound here. For like a Braaam kind of thing. Yo. Ooh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just a second. Let's get this thing up to 30-second notes here. And we can aux this to an envelope. We can aux it to this one. So that's LFO2. Let's just aux it to that really quick while we're here and listen to it kind of feed up. That was the oscillator, or LFO2, right? Ugh. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Drummer Boy says, I just want AI to handle meta tags for different platforms. Please do the boring stuff so I can go back to rotting with my synths. Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Like, dude, bounce this in the various formats. Please come up with 30 top performing tags and write a decent description for each one of these things that I need to upload. Can you also pack up and use the proper naming convention? Zip the files for me, please. Like that kind of stuff, man. Or like when you're building sampled instruments and you have to name like a few hundred files properly so it all ingests correctly. It's like that kind of stuff, man. It'd be awesome if there was a little assistant to do those things. That'd be awesome. Studio Pal. Rokusai says, I don't use AI for my creative stuff, but defo have automated lots of office things like email processing, schedule organizing, also batch renaming of samples. Other than that, I want to do my music manually. Andy Music saying, I think the reason AI is so prevalent currently is because the music industry is so heavily relies on the same progressions. Current trending music is very thematic. I think it's because people aren't quite sure what they really want to do when they sit down. And so they're always thinking, well, I want to do good, like I want to do well, and this other person did well by doing this thing, so I'm going to do what they did. Ugh. That's ugly. That is so disgusting. That's great. We'll grab that. And there's also, if we go back to just our OSC tab here, we're going to turn off the AM modulation. Let's turn this off here. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, so we're going to bypass that. And we're going to take this off. Okay, so here's just our bode. And let's put our soft clip back on there. So that one felt pretty good. If we take out the bode, it just takes all that away, all the screechiness away, right? Yeah. And he's saying, yes, exactly. No one explores music. Well, some do. Rokusai says, I do. And he says, but only a few. Let me introduce you to Feedback Friday, where all of us who are sick and tired of the repetitive norm gather and make awesome music even more awesome by pushing against boundaries and expectations. Yeah, I think there's little nooks and crannies of the world where you find things to be different in general. And I think that it's kind of, in large part, always been that way. In the era of popular music, which is basically, well, since always and forever, there's a certain type of sound for each region, right? For each tribe, for like you can chart this back in time and scale to the nth degree. But you guys are absolutely right. It's the exploration and the more unique outcomes from those explorations that we're all really here for. Like, I think if everyone got to experience live music in which improvisation took place, I think if they were then asked, which do you prefer, studio music or live music, a lot of people are going to side with live music because they don't necessarily know what's coming next. So they find these little pleasures continually. They're constantly surprised by these, oh, wow, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Or, ooh, that was neat, right? And never again will that thing ever happen again. I think that's what is largely missing in most people's music listening experiences from day to day, that keeps this all churning the way that it does, honestly, because it's the end user in every situation that has the last say, really. So, like, these trends persist for a reason. It's not just this top-down thing. Yeah, if listeners were to explore more, I think that artists would be more willing across the board to be more explorative, right? Because a lot of people are doing the whole cookie cutter copycat thing because they don't want to be considered a failure or weird in a way that doesn't translate as good or popular, right? Like, it always comes back to these few simple things, and it's not just about being popular, it's about making enough from it that you can keep doing it. But still, I think that there's this kind of mutual embrace of exploration that needs to happen. Personally. Yeah, saffron. It's kind of like just getting a second opinion or a different perspective from someone in the room. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there are dedicated AI for music models too. Yeah, absolutely. KDHD says, I think this is why bands are big. It's a blend of both worlds and they create in the studio but play live. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, KDHD, because it gives you something to understand what they are before you even go see them. And then beyond that, it gives you something to remind yourself of just how great they are outside of those live experiences. I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. Andy says, I like to think that music is built on creating an expectation and then subverting at critical points. The reason we consider something musical is due to repetition of the same elements. But if we break that expectation in a good way, the shifting, like shifting the mood to something different, it will hit very hard. Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're constantly trying to push against expectation and try to deliver something unique and unexpected because it's unpredictable. And when there's unpredictability in play, there's pleasure, right? There's fascination. And when there's really good dynamics and really good mixing and processing play that's really aligned with that composition, and the sound design is all in lockstep with it all, it's something that you can fall into and that you can be absorbed by. And it becomes something that's fairly transcendent. You don't even need lyrics for it to be universally loved by everyone, and it will still feel relatable to people, right? Without the spoken words to go along with it to unlock some sort of specific something inside of you that you resonate with. It's more about this translation of mood and happenstance in the moment, um, feelings uh, that you're able to impart. It's a magic. It's a I think it's kind of like a magic art, really. Yeah. Rokusai says, I completely disagree with you, Andy. To me, music is an expression of the soul, period. We have explored much if you look how old humanity is. We haven't explored much. And I also agree with you, Rokusai. I think both are right. I think that the the things that fascinate us about music are the things that we didn't expect the first time around, but really pleased us. And I also think that the music was probably made that way because of that person's journey, right? And I think that all of these things are in tandem. Um, they're inextricable. They're entangled. They're yeah, they're necessary. Absolutely. And I think that there's, this amame, this kind of sweet, sour, salty, sweet kind of relationship in music that you can build these really kind of complex profiles, and they begin to maybe mean different things to different people, but they're fully immersed and engaged with whatever it is that's conjuring those feelings. You know what I mean? And a lot of that has to do with the kind of bittersweet or the contrast, if you will, that's being put in front of them. So if that contrast is pushing against a groove expectation versus a timbre expectation, people might put different words to it, but really, like mechanically, it's the same thing happening. Um, so yeah, I tend to agree with both of you. Yeah. Rokusai is saying, yeah, in that regard, yes. To me, there's novelty music for the masses, and there's art. Often they get mixed up. Nothing wrong with the novelty. It's just louder than the true artistic expression. Yeah, and then you start to get into um, a lot of very subjective kind of personal taste and opinions, and a lot of that comes down to exposure and perspective. If you've never been exposed to what you might consider some of the greatest things, but someone comes along and hears, say, Sophie for the very first time, their brain is going to be broken for years because of this artist being so profoundly different, right? And so shocking and almost confounding and just obliterates all of their previous expectations with music. So yeah, exposure and perspective and stuff are absolutely paramount. And, coming at it from different cultures and just kind of experiencing different, just organic barriers to discovery, like proximity, right? And even knowing that something even exists in the world. Um, so you could first be introduced to some of this stuff by way of some very derivative material, is my point. And you might not consider that very derivative material to be like true artistry in that realm, but it is for the people that are discovering it. So yeah, yeah. KDHD says, I love when people can get beyond the subjectivity of personal experience and instead of disagreeing, understand the nature of subjectivity and how it applies to personal individual experiences and understand ambiguity. Yeah. Art, says Zendremic. Yeah, man. Absolutely, right? KDHD says, I have a very polyvalent perspective on music. There's no right or wrong by definition. Music is just organized sound. Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Yo, what up, Metabeats? How you doing, man? How was your stream? How are things? Happy Monday. Organized sound, says Syndromic. Yeah. Yo, Rob Pond. Welcome in, homie. How are you? Zen saying, hey, the key to music, although some push those boundaries to the point of organized chaos or absurd chaos, unintelligent buckets of noise, still art, but yeah. Rob Pond saying, what a voice this man has. Holy. Well, thanks. And I've got a bit of a cold, too. Short but sweet. Nice. We are... Well, I was trying to make some Brahms. Let's be fair, I haven't really made any. I've made a whole bunch of individual sounds. We have not started gluing them together. We've made a bunch last week, though. We made about, 50 or so last week. So we just have to make the other 50 to finish this pack. Then we'll be done with it. And then before that, we did a plugin review for Bloom Vocal Edit from Excite Audio, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's super playful. You can import your own sounds into it. We actually brought in some Foley sounds and blended them with the vocal samples that they have in there and made some cool toppers and stuff. Maybe we should go back to that and play with some more in a bit. Andy's saying, I think the reason I perceive music as such now is simply due to the copious amount of music I've heard. And the mainstream currently is just not that musical to me, because to me, it sounds like the same song. Yeah, dude. Yes, 100%. That's why I can't listen to top 40 music. It just doesn't, it's just all the same. Roku says, KDHD, add to that, organized sound equates to me as physically manipulating molecules and atoms. We barely know what we're doing with them. Humanity is so young still. Yeah, in the bigger scope. Syndromic says, mainstream is musical, but it's formulaic, safe music. Yeah, Syndromic hits the nail on the head here, I think. It's safe. It is the safe zone. It's what you can turn on, and you know it's not going to pull everybody out of the conversation that's being had in the room. It's not going to derail you from the work that you're doing right now at your computer. It's not going to completely distract you while you're driving down the road or whatever it is, right? It's a fair and balanced kind of thing. That, yeah, it's this homogenized experience, Oh, KDHD, that'd be rad. If there was maybe they could just do that for a day where everyone joining a stream is actually just a party of one rating. That'd be awesome. That'd be so fun. Rob Pond saying, I don't want to hurt your feelings, homie, but I was talking about Meta's singing voice. Oh, there you go. Awesome. No offense taken. Well, now I want to go listen to Meta's voice. Saf saying it's mainstream because gatekeepers are the same flavored coffee. They don't want a new flavor. It's safe, dude. It's safe. It's safe. KDHD. Consciousness editing acoustic pressure waves through inceptions of human beings. Oh no, there's a civil war brewing. Syndromic says, hold your tongue. Omnabs has a very pretty voice. Oh no. Oh man. Metabeat saying, even though art has a lot of subjectivity to it, I still think there are objective parameters to art as well. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Zendrobic says, pumpkin coffee, what's next? Drink it out of a boot? Oh man, I swear, pumpkin spice, one of the few things in this world that you can bring up in conversation and make a 20-something sound like an 80-something-year-old and vice versa. Like pumpkin spice has such, it's a trigger. It has become such a trigger. That's so great. Oh, you guys are killing me. This is fantastic. I have completely lost track. Oh my gosh, you guys. I put on a little bit of background noise here. Find a little bit of sanity. I need to get back into either a place of productivity mentally, or we're just going to stay in the deep end of the pool and play for a little while. Maybe we should play. Let's play. Let's play instead. I'm gonna just make the call. We're gonna play. I'm gonna go back to this vocal edit, and we're gonna do something. We're gonna put a couple things in here. Let's see what we can get up to. Maybe we'll get a little goofy. We'll turn those guys off. This one, yeah, this is our vocal edit. And before I turn that on, let's pull up Reactor. New school. Let's set our BPM up a bit. Sure, we'll save this one. Just because. And we'll give it a little loop. Okay, and then we've got this. Oh, this is still using our randomized kit that we made, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's see what else we can do in here. Oh, that one's wild. Okay, this one's making good use of some effects here. So let's take this one. And now let's start putting our own stuff in there. So we're going to go into the back. And let's do kind of similar to what we did before. Let's grab a couple of maybe Foley loops and get some interesting textures in there. I'll grab them from the gold pack again. Again, all of the people subscribed to the Twitch channel have this pack for free this month. So let's use this one. Okay, so that is sample 1. We'll put in another one in on sample 3. And let's just put another one in on 5, and then I want to swap out a couple others. Put this one in on 5. Okay, cool. So now as we're playing through, now we're getting more than just vocal slices. Yeah, this is already pretty good, but we're going to put in something else. Oh, and we're going to put it in on number 7, sample 7. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put, we're going to take some samples from Despotism. Never before has this sound pack been more timely than it is right now.
What happens in a single community is the problem of its own citizens.
Sure, let's take that one. We'll put that here. And let's take sample 9, and we're going to swap that with another Despotism sample here.
Today, democracy can ebb away in communities whose citizens allow power to become...
Yeah.
Have you got a textbook?
Ooh, there we go. That one's good. Take this one in here. So we got a little female voice in here. Okay, now let's play a little bit with these sequences. Oh, these are great. Wow, so all I'm doing here, I'm just randomizing. I'm randomizing the sequence parameters, and it's affecting various other parameters here. But that is so much fun, right? You can build such quick toppers with this thing. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. KDHD, yes, there is a link in the Discord. For if you are a Twitch subscriber and you have not been grabbing your free sound packs, do so. Click on subscriber rewards here. If you can't get in there and you are a Twitch subscriber, it just means that you need to connect your Twitch and your Discord profiles, and that's it. If you're having trouble getting in and you are sub, just let me know, and I'll help you get in there. The free pack this month is gold, which is sequenced Foley loops. And if you're looking for the link to the vocal edit tool, it's right here in today's announcement post for the live stream at the top of these holiday deals here. Yeah, KDHD saying choppy slices like this feels like the audio version of collage art, and it's kind of my favorite. Yeah, yeah, you would like SoundThread. I see that comment coming from Andy. Yeah. No, SoundThread is yeah, so it's a front end of a larger open source uh, framework. It's got a whole bunch of individual little processes that you can string along in kind of a modular fashion. And SoundThread gives you like a front end interface to that set of open source tools. It's pretty great. It's called the Composer's Desktop Project (CDPs). You can Google it. We've actually intended to run it a couple of times here, and for whatever reason, this machine, probably for the same reason that I can see right now, I can see that the visuals are kind of hanging up here. I think it has to do. I think it has to do with this plug actually. Let's just turn this off really quick and see. See if it fixes it. Yeah, see, I'm back. It's nothing wrong with the plugin. I think it has to do with the chip architecture of this machine. I still need to move over to the other machine that's sitting over on this other table in the studio here. Computer goes oof on all that processing. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it's just that it's this older machine. I just need to move over to this one. I've got it basically set up. I just didn't have enough time before stream today to actually move it off that table and get it plugged in over here and moving this one over there before going live is all. Yeah, it is a bit like Max MSP in a way, yeah. Roku Sai says, I use CDP for a lot of things, but I'm old school and still used to scripting in Terminal. Yeah, yeah, so it goes. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Oh, gosh, it's 1 p.m. already over here, you guys. Holy poop. I did not realize. All right, so I think we'll probably wrap up here in just a little bit, especially if you guys are getting choppy visuals out of this thing too. Now I'm thinking that it wasn't the plug, that it was Comcast or something, because I'm looking over there, I'm like, huh. It says here I have fantastic throughput, but 0.2% of the frames have dropped. How about that? CPU's at 5% over here, so it's not that. Yeah, it's a Comcast thing, probably. My bad for saying it was probably the Bloom plugin. I don't think it was. I'm glad that the audio's fine. That's good. I mean, that's all that really matters. It doesn't really matter what my face looks like. The sound is what we're here for, after all. You should see a new video up on the ghosthack channel this week, I think. New Serum video. There will be a free preset with all of these new Serum videos moving forward. So each time, if you guys want to slowly build your Serum presets up, you can pick up a bunch of freebies along the way. If you tune into those individual ghosthack videos, I'll be kicking down a free preset with each one moving forward. So just something to keep on your radar. Meta says, oh, it's okay when your camera just runs at 0.1 FPS. Oh, that's silly. There should be a little panic button on Twitch that just forces like a little hard resync or something. tonight. Hey, you know what? Blazin'. Mr. Blazin' Beats is actually streaming right now. We should go say hi. We should go say hi. They've only been up for a few seconds, so let's go do this, shall we? Hey, we're going to be back in 2 days' time. Also, we have a bunch of those holiday deals here. So if you are doing any kind of shopping for yourself this holiday season, don't pay full price. There's lots of people sharing links right now. Click on one of the links that people are sharing to save yourself money, because there's no reason to pay full price for all the things during this season. So go treat yourself to something. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I do like this Bloom Vocal Edit plugin. I think I'll be playing with it some more in future live streams. I think maybe to make some drum toppers, honestly. It's pretty fun. Next time you see me, the Braams might be done. So, for what it's worth, we may have already transformed all those layers that we bounced today. All right, kitty cats, let's go see what Blazin's up to. I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging. Peace out. See you next time.